Hi, I'm here with Bob Sido, who in 1929, when he was 8 years old, became a member of Glen Echo Country Club. That's pretty amazing.
It's been a good road to go. I've enjoyed it all over.
How did you happen to come to the club?
Well, my dad was with the Wabash Railroad, and which is the right-of-way that comes right past Glen Echo. And we joined here when we were back from Toledo, Ohio. When I was in Toledo, Ohio, we were in a club there. Joe Kirkwood was the pro at this country club in Toledo. And at that time, I was about 5 or 6, I guess. And the first time I ever had a golf club was there. And I had these little bitty kids clubs, and Joe Kirkwood says, "Come on up here, Sonny." So I pop it up in the air, and he knocks one out that amazed me.
Tell me about your earliest memory
of Glen Echo.
Of Glen Echo and being on this property.
It was, as I say, 29, and Fred Clarkson was the pro. He had a couple of sons that were about my brother and my age at that time. Interesting Scotsman. He was really an interesting golf pro, and that was kind of a carryover. I did play earlier better golf than I'm playing today.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. But the Glen Echo has always been, my exposure to it has been essentially the same layout that we have today. But it's all been maintained, approved, and it's just a joy. And the people here, for the most part, I find are what make the club a continuing good place to play. And it's never boring. It's got enough hilly contours to it, and drainage that's good to keep the course playable under a lot of circumstances. And it's to me, I have been fortunate enough to be in a number of cities as I've grown up and been with my career, which was a chemist, and with Monsanto Company. And so I have been around the country a lot, and been able to enjoy what's here. But my mother, particularly, when she was the first ladies champion here, and I guess maybe the first real ladies golfer was going on in '33. And she became quite active in the state and the district, and in fact in Women's Western and Trans-Mississippi, and those which all preceded the.
She wasn't one of the first 13 founders of the LPGA, was she?
I don't think so. I don't
think she was quite a golfer.
No, but she was a very good avid golfer, and
wow.
It's been the carryover in our family. We've all had some exposure to golf and loved it, so that's what has made this particularly nice.
Did you play golf before you came here at age 8?
No. Well, yes, in Toledo, Ohio, the Ann Arbor Railroad was a subsidiary of the Wabash, and my dad was general manager of the Ann Arbor, which had a railroad and water travel across Lake Michigan and that kind of stuff. But I did get exposed to in that area just as a little kid with a sack.
A sack of balls or a sack of clubs?
No, more the clubs. In fact, we didn't have that many clubs in those days. You had a driver, a brassy, a spoon, and a mid-iron, mashy niblick, and a putter. That was your game.
I got a couple of those in my club, in my bag today.
Yeah.
So how did you first come to the game? I mean, did your dad say, "Hey, let's go play"? You were with some buddies?
It was kind of interesting. I just went along when they played, and they took me out with them, and we played frequently on weekends, which my dad traveled a lot otherwise. And it was kind of interesting. I have one story that I found that my dad and mother and I were playing, and I was about, I guess, 12 at the time. And on number, I guess it was number 7, hole here at Glen Echo. We were playing, and in those days, the men played from the back blue tees here, and So we were up on the hill at the back of that made that hole the longest one, and I had been usually able to get over the road on the thing, but I didn't that time. And I popped my golf club down on the ground and broke the shaft. Well, that was an experience that not everything went on. We kept playing, and there wasn't any big to do at that particular time. But as we got at home and drove into the garage, my dad got out of the car and he opens the door in the back and he says, "Son, don't you ever." And I haven't ever. But it's been a family experience for me.